The Beauty of a Tortured Soul, a depiction of a hero who sacrificed himself to clear the name of his people. I will not pass by the enlightened conviction that suffering is a virtue, for it eases the way into the kingdom of heaven. On August 30th, 1918, shortly after 10 a.m. in St. Petersburg, out of an apartment in Sapiorny Court walked a handsome young man wearing a leather jacket. He was about 22 years old, a poet coming from a bourgeois Jewish family. This was Leonid Kannegiser. The young poet mounted a bicycle and rode to the Winter Palace Plaza. In front of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where Uritsky, head of the Petrograd Cheka, usually came, Kannegiser stopped, dismounted, and entered the half-round palace to which Uritsky usually drove. "Does Comrade Uritsky receive visitors?" the young man asked the old doorman. "He did not arrive yet," said the doorman. The poet walked towards the window facing the plaza. He sat down on the window sill and looked through the window for a long time. People were walking down the plaza. A whole eternity passed within 20 minutes. Finally, a soft engine roar announced the arrival of the automobile that slowed down and stopped at the entrance of the palace. Uritsky, a short, shrill-voiced, bow-legged, ugly little man with a waddling gait like a duck, entered the palace. The word on the street was that Uritsky liked to brag about the number of death sentences he signed in a day. How many was he supposed to sign today? But the young man in a leather jacket got up, and as the chief of the Cheka was waddling towards the elevator, Kannegiser shot him from a distance of 6 steps. Leonid Kannegiser killed Moses Uritsky on the spot. Less than 1,000 men had been executed under the Tsars for crimes of capital punishment in the 80 years before the Bolshevik takeover. The Bolsheviks would execute more people in just 2 days than the 80 years before. Why is the figure of Leonid Kannegiser so important? First, he is a remarkable representative of the Jewish people who fought against Bolshevism. And second, with the assassination of Moses Uritsky, Kannegiser tried to redeem the Jewish people in the eyes of the Russians and to make up for the guilt of the Jewish Bolsheviks. Before his execution in October 1918, Kannegiser said the following words: "I am a Jew. I killed a vampire Jew who was drinking drop by drop the blood of the Russian people. I tried to show the Russian people that to us, Uritsky was not a Jew. He was an outcast. I killed him hoping to redeem the good name of the Russian Jews." Leonid Kannegiser was born on March 15, 1896 in St. Petersburg in a wealthy Jewish family. His father, Joachim Semyonovich Kannegiser, was an engineer working in the field of shipbuilding and metal processing. He occupied a high position in the imperial administration, basically being head of the empire's metallurgical industry. Leonid's mother, Rosa Lvovna Sacher, was a physician. From his childhood, Leonid mingled with the most intelligent, famous, and brightest personalities of the time, to whom the house of Kannegiser was a sort of salon. Leonid graduated from school and in 1913 was admitted to the economics department of the Polytechnic University. In 1915, Leonid had a romantic relationship with Palada Bogdanova Belskaya, and between 1915 and 1917, he was involved with Olga Gildebrand, an actress. In her memoirs, Gildebrand writes that they were almost engaged, but after Leonid's brother Sergei committed suicide, their relationship came to an end. Leonid was also a yunker, or a cadet, of the Mikhailovskaya Artillery School. Among the yunkers, he went to defend the Winter Palace on the night of October 25, 1917. After the assassination of Uritsky, he was arrested, interrogated, and executed by a firing squad in October 1918. Mark Aldanov, a notable Russian Jewish writer, knew Kannegiser personally and wrote an essay titled "The Assassination of Uritsky," where he quotes, "The diary of Leonid, with all its naivete of style and thought, astonishes me. Searching for logic in it would be in vain, but every page screams out about the pain of his tortured soul. I met him in the house of his parents in Sapiorny Court. He also visited me sometimes. I could not help but see the tragic side of his nature, but nothing about him foretold that he would become a terrorist." The events of 1918, the Brest-Litov peace, changed Kannegiser's mind about the Bolsheviks. He started hating them with a red-hot hate and even participated in conspiracies against them. But he became a terrorist after his friend Vladimir Perelsveg, an anti-Bolshevik as well, was shot. At the time, St. Petersburg was swarming with conspirators. There were all sorts of conspiracies, monarchical and republican, with German and Entente orientation. I knew some of the conspirators, and they were weird people. They were naive and serious like children. One could see that they were up to something from a mile away. In the summer of 1918, Leonid Kannegiser walked the streets of the city armed to the teeth. I remember he once came to dinner to my place. He had 2 revolvers and a box that he handled with special care and emphasized secretiveness. He left the box at my place for the night and came to pick it up the next morning. I still don't know what was in the box, but I remember him mentioning that he wanted to blow up the Smolny Institute. I also knew Perlsveg and a number of the other young men, Junkers and officers from the same circles as Leonid. They were caught and executed even before the assassination of Uritsky, and this fact was a terrible tragedy for Leonid. The assassination of Uritsky became the trigger for the start of the Red Terror. Gleb Boki, who became the next chief of the Cheka, ordered the killing of 512 people who were allegedly suspected of anti-Bolshevik conspiracy on the next day after the execution of Kannegiser. Leonid Kannegiser acted, lived, and died like a hero, without any hope of victory. No one knows where he is buried. Will Russia ever install a monument over his grave? Happy is he who falls head first, even for a moment, but the world looks different to him. The last lines in the diary of Leonid Kannegiser were these: "A human heart does not need happiness, it needs shining. If only my dear ones knew what shining is filling my soul now, they would rejoice and not shed tears." The case of Leonid Kannegiser was found in the archives during the Perestroika era. The General Prosecutor's Office reviewed it. Its verdict was not subject to rehabilitation. Kannegiser would remain officially as a criminal terrorist, at least until Uritsky, Zinoviev, Lenin, and the other Red Butchers will be legally confirmed as criminal terrorists. But no one has opened a criminal case against them as of yet. Even in light of the aforesaid, to us, Leonid Kannegiser remains a hero fighting for Russia, an insanely unhappy nation, as he wrote in solitary confinement of the Petrograd Cheka. Even though the name of the killer's killer is only known to a few intellectuals, the time will come when his name will be known across the world as a symbol of light, redemption, and hope. I don't care whether I am the Pope or a shoeshiner in Calcutta. I do not connect certain states of my spirit with these positions. My sole goal is to bring my soul to divine enlightenment and to inexpressible delight. Leonid Kannegiser. With bayonets shining in the sunlight stands the infantry. Beyond it, in the depths, stand the Don Cossacks, and in front of the troops, Kerensky rides on a white horse. He lifts his tired eyelids, he gives a speech, and silence. Oh, his voice, remember forever, Russia, freedom, war. Hearts made of fire and iron, the spirit a green oak, and the eagle's song, the Marseillaise, flies out of silver trumpets. To battle, and the demons will flee, and through the darkened firmament, the archangels will look with envy upon our jolly deaths. And if I hold you, O mother, as I waver in pain, and fall down with a bullet in my chest, in an abandoned field, then, at the blessed entrance, in my happy dream before I die, I will remember Russia, freedom, and Kerensky on a white horse. Leonid Kannegiser apparently worshipped Alexander Kerensky, judging by this poem, but this Jewish young man could not know that Kerensky would become a traitor to the Romanov imperial family, even to a greater extent than the Bolsheviks themselves. Even before the abdication of Nicholas II, Kerensky declared at the Duma session on February 14, 1917, "The historical task of the Russian people at this moment is to destroy the medieval Tsarist regime immediately and at all cost. There is only one way to deal with them, to annihilate them physically." When asked what he meant, Kerensky answered, "I mean, we must do as Brutus did in the times of ancient Rome." An interesting fact is that Kerensky was Jewish himself, his real name being Aaron Kibritz. His mother married a Christian Orthodox, Fyodor Kerensky, who adopted him and renamed him Alexander.